This comic book artist uses all mediums to render his surreal aesthetics. Dave Mckean is a man of many talents, mastering several techniques in the world of art, but certainly remarked for the magic he brought to comic books, most notably for the 75 covers for Neil Gaiman's Sandman, and the widely praised Arkham Asylum graphic novel with author Grant Morrison. Mckean doesn't persist to a single style through his career, rather he blends a combination of mediums to render possibly the most unorthodox and abstract art in comic book history. Mckean's earliest work is seen in a zine titled Meanwhile, created with a few of his friends, and even early on is pushing traditional boundaries. In 1986, he'd first meet with Neil Gaiman, who'd pitch Mckean Violent Cases, published by DC in 1987. It's a communication of numerous ideas and invokes his early transcendental approach to comic books. What follows is The Beautiful Black Orchid, again with Gaiman the next year. Additionally, his remarkable work on Hellblazer starring John Constantine. The surrealism and nightmarish approach Mckean brought to the Grant Morrison pen Arkham Asylum in 1989 is haunting. It emits ahead of its time creative freedoms with not many points of comparison unless you consider Sienkiewicz or McKeever as his contemporaries of abstract and mixed media comics. The visual intrigue rendered from oil and watercolor puts you in the world of psychologically hellish landscapes that only the Dark Knight could survive. For almost 10 years, Mckean was the pillar of Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Like I mentioned previously, he created 75 covers for the series, and is a possible contender for pioneer in early Photoshop creations. The enticing pieces containing photo collages and otherworldly expressions where no two covers are the same and contain dreamlike visualizations that truly set the standard for the Sandman's iconic and memorable run. The Mckean and Gaiman collab continued in their graphic novel Signal to Noise, capturing moment-by-moment visual storytelling and the tragical comedy or comical tragedy of Mr. Punch. A total shift in his style. While still delivering nightmare fuel, stylistically goes for a more simplistic, avant-garde, cartoony approach, also seen in his graphic novel Cages, taking another style approach working with ink and pencils. His work as an illustrator continued through the years, doing album covers, posters, and children's books, as well as the cover for Neil Gaiman's Coraline in 2002 and creating concept art for Harry Potter films. He also spent time as a filmmaker and a musician, expressing himself in every form he has access to. Most recently, his visceral touches on comics returned in the Dark Horse published Black Dog: The Dreams of Paul Nash in 2016 that break the barriers of visual storytelling in its seamless guide through blended panel borders that plays with all sorts of styles. Dark Horse also released the beautifully poetic Raptor in 2021, as well as Tiger in 2023, featuring his brilliantly evolved illustrations. Dave Mckean broke all sorts of traditional expectations in his bare, all surreal style.